Sure. Abir, hello, how you doing?
Great. What about you, Slim?
Yeah, amazing. Listen, we were talking about Xiaomi, so its automotive divisions, and I think we have kind of different reasons why this happened, why they migrated from electronics and consumer electronics to cars. And yeah, what I'm gonna suggest is I'm gonna tell you why I think they capitalized on their knowledge in the ecosystem, in the AI world to make it happen. And I'm curious to know what you think about this subject. Okay,
Great.
great. So in 2021, Li Jun, the executive in Xiaomi, he was responsible for many projects there. And then it was his last year there, and he was going to retire. And he decided to create a project. He called it the Last Great Project to make Xiaomi produce some cars. Now, they didn't really think it through the first time because they didn't really have the knowledge to do it. But at the end of the day, he convinced them because he said that they had a huge heritage in AI, in tech, in IoT, etc., and that they could capitalize on that through cars to make cars, and that's exactly what happened. So. Um, what I thought was that like other brand companies were focused more on performance metrics. They didn't have a huge interest in technology as a basis of when creating a car. With Xiaomi, it was a bit different because they focused on the AI-powered ecosystem integration. They made it so that like they were saying how to create seamless AI-powered digital life integration. So the idea was for a person who has a phone, Xiaomi, a smartwatch, a fridge, anything, I mean, connected to the same iOS system, the car would know that, and it would adapt to his lifestyle, to his or her lifestyle, and make the experience a bit more enjoyable. So yeah, like we were talking, the Hyper US, it's called. They really based everything around that. So if you're connected to this OS system, your smartphone is in it, the wearables, the smart home, and including your car. So that allowed for adaptive learning, seamless data flow, and unified intelligence. You really have to live it, I think, to experience it, to understand exactly what it means. But from what I saw, things like it knows your music preference, your frequent destinations, your best comfort settings, the preferred colors for you. And so, yeah, Xiaomi, they said that the car knows you before you even sit in it for the first time. And that was the main strategy for their car protection. And I think it worked so far, right?
I think so.
Yeah. Yeah, as I said, so it was mainly AI driven, and even the manufacturing side of it is powered by AI. So the assembly, the motors, the battery, logistics, everything that allowed for vertical integration. For example, very simple. Approach to vertical integration because they already had most of the system in place. Xiaomi was one of the pioneers in using computer vision for quality control, and today, for a car company that exists for 3 or 4 years, the quality they have is really outstanding. And so I don't think that they could have made that without capitalizing on their AI knowledge. And the fact that their cars today can go up to 800 kilometers, I think 500 miles, something like that, which rivals Tesla and other electric car companies. That's also due to the fact that they developed their silicon carbide batteries internally. And that also was enabled mainly through using AI in the research and development. So yeah, I don't know if you agree with what I said, if you had another point of view.
That's really interesting, Slim. Thank you so much for
Yeah.
sharing those informations. Um, Actually, now we often hear about how AI is transforming mobility, making cars smarter, safer, and more responsive, and that's true.
Mhm.
After everything you have said, AI is the invisible brain behind the wheel, but what
Totally.
truly shapes our experiences as a human isn't just intelligence. Don't you agree?
Yeah,
Yeah, kind of. It's the interaction. So it's how
absolutely.
the space around us feels, responds, and connects with our senses. So here where the design comes in.
Yeah, that's the architect on you talking, right?
Exactly. It is.
Okay, tell me more.
That the design is the language we understand without needing to be taught. It's the warmth of the light, the texture of the surface, the silence that lets us breathe. So in the example of, for example, Xiaomi's SU7,
Mm.
it doesn't just use the design to impress, it uses it to embrace. So the car become a space of emotion, rhythm, and rest. It's architecture emotion, let's say,
Right.
if you can say that. Yeah.
You can
So
communicate emotions through physical objects, yeah.
exactly.
Mm.
So it's a unit. It's a space that it's it's then a unit that moves. It's the architecture emotion, let's say. So show me
Reimagine.
reimagine the car, not as a product, but as a place that listens, adapts, and makes us feel more human.
Yes.
And Xiaomi Design's philosophy begins with a simple idea that the car is not a machine, it's a space that moves and reflects with us. It's designed like a piece of architecture, if you can say that. It's not just about the form, it's about the feeling, what we touch, what we listen to, what we feel. Um, so here, Xiaomi treats light as a material, space as a rhythm, and surface as emotional cues. For example, the panoramic sunroof, for instance, isn't just a window, it's a skylight. It brings in natural lights that soften the interior, expand the perceptions, and reduces stress. It's a design choice rooted in wellness, not just aesthetics, let's say.
Yeah.
So this is what Show Me means when they talk about the human car home unity. The car become an extension of the environment we live in, calm and emotionally aware. So, but it's not just about natural lights. What makes for example, the SU7 truly immersive? It's how it engaged all the senses. For example, Xiaomi's designers created what they call a panoramic multisensory cockpit. It's a space that speaks through sound, textures, and atmospheres. It's design. It goes beyond the visual. Sorry, it's about how the space feels, how it supports your state of mind, your senses, your well-being inside the car. Their approach here is deeply human. It's not about overwhelming the senses, but about harmonizing them. And within this sensory harmony, they introduce something even more profound, which is the organization of space itself. Um,
Okay.
and the SU7 is designed with a spatial hierarchy, a concept borrowed from architecture that defines how different areas of space serves different emotional needs. So the front
Right.
seats, for example, if we can describe it, the front seats are designed for focus and control. The rear seats, by contrast, are more cocooned, space for rest, reflection, or even disconnection, if you want to say that. They call it the right to disconnect after them. So and minimalism plays a key role here, but it's not like cold and sterile. It's still warm, but they keep their identity. like the Xiaomi's identity. So the design here invites you to slow down, to breathe, to feel. It's not just about what's there, it's about what's left out to give you space to be. So
Oh,
in the end, by blending architecture thinking, sensory design, and emotional zoning, um, they has created a vehicle that doesn't just respond to our command, it responds to our being, if you want to say that.
wow.
Exactly.
I want to buy a Xiaomi.
Yeah, I would
Yeah,
love
that's very
to live the
interesting.
experience actually.
Yeah, that's really, really interesting because at the end of the day, they wanted you to feel at home, even when you're in the car. And I think they really
Exactly.
succeeded between the AI that's working in the background, that doing all the heavy lifting without you knowing about it necessarily, and between the physical objects, the lighting, like you said, the materials, the eco-friendly part of it. I think they nailed it. Really, really, they nailed it. But if I had one last question, I mean, they are pretty new now, okay? So they have quite success, but they are new. So what do you think are going to be the challenges for this company in the next few years? I don't know, design-wise or
Well, actually, I think it's gonna be the competitors more than anything. I mean, they have really strong competitors in the market like BYD or Tesla. So I
yeah,
think this is the biggest challenge that
I couldn't
they
agree more.
can. Yeah,
I couldn't
exactly.
agree more because, yeah, like you said, BYD and Tesla are the main competitors today, and Volkswagen at another level. So, yeah, I totally agree with you. They have many competitors and they are all doing the same thing. But I think the one who's going to win is the one who's going to offer the best experience overall. Because if
Exactly.
you see, for example, Apple, they want the Apple ecosystem. So you have everything taken care of, kind of.
Mhm.
No, design-wise
True.
and technology-wise, and yeah, I think it's gonna be exactly the same thing with Xiaomi.
Let's just hope.
Yeah, let's hope so. Anyways, thank you so much. It was really, really interesting. Thank you for sharing
Thank you
with
too,
me,
Slim.
Abir.
Thank you.
Yeah, see you.
In any time, it was a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.